If you're dealing with shin splints, calf tightness, knee pain, or any other pain from running, this video will show you how to put an end to the frustrating cycle of resting, testing yourself on a run, getting hurt, and resting again. Because the truth is, Google is right. Yes, resting in ice helps alleviate the symptoms of shin splints and knee pain, but resting, stretching, and foam rolling don't build real resilience. I know because I've been there. I had the endless shin splints and knee pain, and no matter how much I tried to rest it out, the pain wouldn't go away. And anytime it did go away, it didn't take too long to come back again. The real reason this was happening is because I was always missing something. When you return to running, there are 3 main things you need to get right so you can get back to running without pain and continue to do so. I call it the pain-free runner triangle. This is the exact system that helped Noor, who was constantly dealing with shin splints, that it got to the point where she almost wanted to quit running entirely. And keep in mind, this was after she went through physio. Physio made her feel safe, but she never had the necessary steps to feel confident again. We worked together on all the 3 steps of the pain-free runner triangle, and now she's back to pain-free runs, and she even hit a PR on her 10K race. So now you know it works, let me introduce you to step 1. Step 1 is running form, aka the skater technique. Most runners have the common misconception that the slower each step is, or the less overall steps they take on a run, the less damage they put on their legs. I thought the same thing, but it's the exact opposite. Overstriding is what causes most pains in running, because when you overstride, your leg starts to act like a brake. And when that happens, your body takes on a lot more impact than it needs to, and after a while, that additional impact can increase the risk of injury. That's why I follow and tell others to follow the skater technique, which is a running technique focused on running with the hips and running without overstriding. I'll link the video breaking down this technique, but the main concept I want you to understand is to avoid overstriding. Once you pick up your steps per minute, 95% of your running form problems go away. It does not need to be more complicated than that. Also, you can follow the skater technique, the dragger technique, the heel up technique, whatever the technique's name is, it doesn't matter. It's the one that matters is the one that feels most natural to you. Good form takes practice, and the end goal is to not make it feel robotic. It needs to eventually feel brainless despite all these advanced techniques you see online. Eventually, you just want to go out for a run and not have to think about what your legs or arms are doing. Maybe a short check-in on your form from time to time, but that's it. But to get there, we need to first practice good form and get used to it. Here's an example of my client Sophie's running form when she first started working with me. It's clear that there's an element of overstriding, and that overstriding was causing some calf tightness around the 50-ish minute mark. Because doing this for 50 minutes can put a lot of impact on the body. But now she's not even thinking about her form, which is the goal, and her runs are pain-free and she actually enjoys them again. But good running form can only do so much if the body you're running with is weak, unstable, or imbalanced. That's where step 2 comes in. Step 2 is targeted strength training, aka fix the leaks. When it comes to the training you do in the gym, it's a little more than just building a body that looks good. You want to build a body that's functional and can actually handle the demands of running properly. That comes down to 4 things: strength, mobility, control, and balance. Strength is in its name. It's to build stronger muscles by progressively putting them under more load week by week. And don't just strengthen the common quad, hamstrings, and glutes. Strengthen the smaller and less sexy muscles like your feet muscles, your popliteus, your tibialis posterior. These deserve love too because they're often weak and can protect your joints a lot more than you think. Mobility is training your body to be stronger in deeper ranges of motion. So not purely focused on weight gains here, but also range of motion gains. The stronger you are in deeper ranges of motion, for example, let's take a Nordic curl, the more resilient your hamstrings will be in faster efforts of running. Control is your body's ability to stay stable, so we're talking single leg exercises. And there's 2 main types of control exercises. There's hip dominant and ankle dominant. You need to be strong and stable in both of these because running is a sport done on one leg, and if your body can't handle that, you risk injury with every step. This is especially important if you want strong knees because your knee is a joint that sits between these 2 joints, and if one of them isn't doing their job, the knee will try to compensate, and that compensation can lead to pain. The final one is balance, and here I don't mean the stability type of balance, here I mean the balance across your body. So that means addressing the difference between your right leg and left leg, because maybe on a step down, your right leg handles that just fine, but on your left leg, you notice that your knee caves in. That's a sign that your glute medius stabilizer on your left leg can be weaker or tighter than the right. Address your leaks and balance the body so no leg tries to compensate for the other. Now, running form and strength training is great, and you can even argue that that's enough to run without pain. But these 2 steps can be thrown out the window if you miss this next step. The last and final step is load management, aka rebuilding capacity and confidence. When returning to running, you first rebuild your capacity through strength training, but eventually when walking and strength training are done pain-free, you eventually want to introduce running again. And this cannot be done with testing yourself on runs. This has to follow a logical progression, and this progression has 3 main guidelines. The first guideline is the 4 out of 10 rule. When you do your run, your pain or discomfort should not pass a 4 out of 10 on the pain scale. If it spikes that, you are overloading the tissue, and that's a sign that there might be some more steps before you do that run. The second guideline is the 24-hour rule. Whatever you do on a run today, your body needs to settle back down to a baseline, so 0 out of 10 pain, within 12 to 24 hours. If you wake up the next day and you're limping or you still feel pain, the load was too high. The third guideline is the 10% progression rule. You cannot jump from 5k to 10k just because you felt good on a random Tuesday. Your weekly volume should never increase more than 10% week by week. Before we started working together, Gail rushed this exact process. She had the strength and she had good running form, but once she started feeling no pain in her shins, she assumed she can just jump straight back into her old mileage. That sudden spike in load overwhelmed her body and brought back that old pain she was feeling. Once we fixed her progression and applied these 3 guidelines, she finally broke the cycle of rest, pain, rest, pain. Now she's consistently hitting her weekly mileage pain-free. Listen, if you watch this far, here's where you're probably at right now. You likely just want to run consistently, but every time you do put on your shoes and go out for a run, something flares up and you feel like you're back at square one. I get it. I really do get it, because this is exactly where I started too. I dealt with endless shin splints and knee pain that completely stopped me from training properly. And because I was approaching it all wrong, I just kept delaying my return to running, making the whole journey a lot more frustrating than it had to be. But it doesn't have to be like that for you. My goal is to take you from 0 to 1 in the next 30 days. I want to take you away from the pain you're dealing with right now and get you back to consistent, pain-free, and enjoyable runs. I do not believe in passive coaching. I will not let you leave this program without a real, tangible result. I will relentlessly be by your side, adjusting your strategy week by week to make sure we get you to exactly where you need to be. If you're interested in making that happen, go ahead and click the link in the description. The link will take you to a page that breaks down how the whole process works, who's it's for, who's definitely not for, and how we can actually get started. Go check that out, see if it makes sense for you, and I hope to see you inside the program.